Hi, I'm Dr. Becky Coates with TMJ Plus Wellness Center. Today we want to talk about how to look at not just our pain, but what we see within our kids growing up. That's something today that we are going to talk about, life's journey, and so welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for chatting with us today. So I know that you have your own personal story. If you'd like to let us know what you were searching for when you came to see me, and then just kind of let that grow into where you are today.
Sure. Thank you. So I started developing TMJ symptoms when I was in middle school, and I thought it would be alleviated through braces, but it has progressively gotten worse and worse. And I saw a maxillofacialist therapist, and he wanted me to get jaw surgery, and my mom said absolutely not. So throughout all of my college years and middle school and high school, everything was just wearing a night guard. But I tended to grind through all of those night guards, and it just made the problem worse. So I found someone in the area near my home to help me, but I noticed that it wasn't getting any better and my migraines were progressing, and that's when my functional doctor recommended that I come see your office.
Right. So what you had was that a night guard?
Yes.
Just a regular night guard?
Yes,
Okay.
It's a regular night guard, and it wasn't being adjusted regularly, and things were getting progressively worse where I had to actually take off work because my migraines were getting so significant.
Yes, I think that's what you shared with us, is that that was the most impactful thing, is not being able to be your best version of yourself or for your family. I'm sure we can all relate with that. How our pain affects our day-to-day really even affects how we interact with our kids.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I found over the years the only way I was coping with the jaw pain was just to take acetaminophen and Motrin, which progressively destroyed my gut health. So I was just compounding more problems trying to help myself.
Right. So if you were to describe where you are now with your treatment, what would you say has been different than just a flat, ordinary night guard?
Oh my goodness. So my jaw pain has been completely alleviated. I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. I don't have the neck and shoulder pain that I had before. And my family notices I'm much more relaxed.
Right. So for those of you listening, not just jaw pain, but if we have anything with our body that is tight from just our jaw muscles, but our tongue, under our tongue, our muscles, that can affect our neck and shoulder. I don't know if you've ever experienced, like, it always hurts here, like where your neck bends, this hairline area, or possibly through here where you just feel like you can't open up and breathe. That is something that we look at with our patients, not just their jaw or their jaw muscles, but their tongue, resting posture, or how we swallow. That might sound insignificant, but in your case, what did we find when we assessed your tongue?
Oh my goodness, I had no idea that I had a tongue tie.
Yes.
And it was very interesting to me because I actually had speech therapy when I was in elementary school and never knew why. So started making those connections and then realizing it was causing all of the shoulders being uneven, my posture being off, and thinking about all the times I'd go to a massage therapist and they would try to help me and I'd feel good for maybe a day or two later, but then it would
keeps coming
come
back.
right back.
Keeps coming back. Yes, so I find like that's one of the things that if not just ourselves, but I have a little one too, just like you have two little ones. So I've noticed that that's something to pay attention to, the new generation growing, the ones that have to thrive in school and sports, and they have to breathe better at night, because if they don't breathe better at night, then they wake up grumpy and groggy and they're not so focused in school. So tell us a little bit about, you have two kids, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about, now that you've had this journey, what you're noticing within your family.
So interestingly enough, I started seeing a myofunctional therapist and learned more about my tongue tie, and I started paying more attention to my children, and I noticed their jaw structure and a lot of things that were obviously similar to myself, and I thought, I think they have a tongue tie. I got more into research and realized my son had torticollis as a baby. His neck was in one position. We had to take him to physical therapy. He ended up wearing a helmet. His posture, I've noticed, has been off. His gait seems a little off when he tries to run. So all of these things I'm finding now are connected to having a tongue tie. So I'm really excited about him getting evaluated and getting treatment so he's not in a position that I'm at as an adult, going through years of discomfort and pain.
Right. I'm glad that you mentioned that about posture. So that's something that at home we could just, even like at bedtime, right? Just stand your kids up against the wall and look at if their shoulders are off or their head is turned. All of those are clues. Even how our kids sleep, if they sound like Darth Vader or snoring or heavy breathing, those are clues. With my daughter, she had problems swallowing like a vitamin pill. So those would be clue of a restricted tongue. And in fact, this was even with my own case, I noticed that kids that they have like habits, like maybe they sucked on a blinky or a binky or a thumb, that changes how they grow and develop because the tongue posture is so key for forming the face. Who would have known, y'all? It even makes us look even more attractive, but more importantly, we can be a better version of ourselves, not jaw pain or headaches like those of us that have experienced it, by assessing that. So I know I'll go over some pictures where at home you can look at what are we talking about, a tongue tie or a tongue raise. So what are you hoping for your kids to avoid, or what are you looking for them to have done better than you?
One thing you've helped me with so much is having more breathing capacity. I had no idea I was also suffering from sleep apnea and always seemed to need more rest than the average person. And I noticed my daughter needs a little more rest than the average person. There's a little bit of snoring. I noticed that my son chews with his mouth open, and the table's a little messier where he's at. So all of these things to help them not have those issues, but also to feel more rested. And I think ultimately, as parents, we all want our children to have a really beautiful smile. But my goal now for them, as well as I know that you look at this, it's more than just having straight teeth. It's making sure that the jaws align properly, where all of their teeth are touching, and they won't be grinding their teeth like I did and did so much damage to my joints.
Right. Definitely would agree with you on that. The difference of regular braces, having a pretty smile, the difference is to be able to have our kids have the right function in engineering and breathing. So all the things, not just looking attractive, but so that they can thrive and not be pain patients like our adults. We really appreciate you sharing your perspective as a patient and a mom. Thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Becky Coates with TMJ Plus.